We're here at YCML with Bear, who's going to talk about his work from Berkeley on robot AI safety. He's also the founder of the Physical AI Safety Institute. Bear, tell us about your work.
Awesome. So this is a piece from Carl last year where we wrote the first ever interpretability paper for robot foundation models.
It's crazy that the first one was last year.
It's insane. There's been about 30 pieces of work since that have built upon this, and they've done what I love to say is like a much more sophisticated approach, from SAEs to looking at world action models, etc. But this very first pass was to really get this, just this more concrete resolution of, could you take techniques from the AI safety field, which is for about a decade been building techniques across interpretability, alignment, and control for essentially systems that just think and maybe digitally act, but could we take those techniques and apply them to create concrete safety outcomes for systems that both think and physically act?
Cool. Yeah. So what's the essence of how you did that?
Yeah. So the essence of how we did this is we start with a VLA, and a VLA is, for all intents and purposes, a fine-tuned VLM.
Yep.
And within the VLA are transformer blocks. And within transformer blocks are feed-forward networks, which are essentially just an MLP. So if we project that onto the model embedding layer, which is the final layer of any, most foundation models, it's essentially the dictionary of the tokens the model understands. You actually get this representation that's almost like a dictionary of, for every FFN, what were the tokens across all the FFNs that were most activated by that FFN layer. Now, this allows you to do a lot of really interesting analysis to understand RFMs better, but what's really useful here is you can then cluster these FFN representations by similar concepts, whether that's quick, fast, slow, cautious, etc. And then in the forward pass of the RFM, actually hyperactivate that so that the model is very concretely controlled toward that direction. And so I've got a copy of our website here where you can see here we have a low neuron cluster activated and a high neuron cluster activated. And it has the same natural language command. However, the robot is achieving the task in a much higher or lower action space because of this very direct control.
And so when I think about this from the lens of AI safety, is the idea here that this means, if we can understand these elements inside the neural networks better, we can constrain them in such a way such that when you have a generic command, like the command you're doing here, it's less likely to do something unexpectedly bad. Is that like roughly why we see this as like an AI safety problem, or like how do you interpret it that way?
Yeah, I think people approach AI safety from a whole, sort of fidelity of different normative understandings. Anywhere from, we just want our systems to be more reliable, to there could be serious catastrophic risk here. And my opinion, and the opinion of the authors of the paper and the Physical AI Safety Institute, is that when you have a general reasoning model that is operating on probability distributions of what anything really semantically means in the real world, it's an extra surface of risk that sort of only amplifies those existing risks that the AI safety community thinks of. So whether it is simply just, will this do the tasks that I want it to do? Whether it is, a long horizon task that might go very off stream because the model has, really improved over time, but now you're not so sure if it has, the inner alignment tracing, or if it's, some catastrophic, maybe a bio risk of an RFM. Now, you could say an LLM might know how to make a bioweapon, but an RFM embedded in a humanoid can know how to make it. It can go buy the parts by walking into Home Depot in a world that's very normalized to have robot embodiments, and then actually go make it and place it in a high density location. And so there's a whole sort of remit of risks in this space. And our goal really with the Physical AI Safety Institute is to get more people working on technical solutions to these problems.
Nice. Maybe to wrap, you had mentioned that you're hosting a workshop next year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the workshop is this year in November.
That's right.
From August 12th, you can submit a paper. So the workshop is called The Science of Physical AI Safety. The goal is to bring together the AI safety and robot learning communities to establish this shared field. We have 3 of the most fantastic robotics professors in the world from Stanford, CMU, and MIT, as well as Thomas from Goodfire, who's done fantastic work on physical AI interpretability as well. And really, the idea with the workshop is to, as a group, collectively source opinions to these 3 questions. And the 3 questions are, what can we take from the AI safety field to inform RFMs? What can we take from the classical robotics fields of kinematics, dynamics, and control to inform safety for RFMs? And also, how should we think about evaluating RFMs in contrast to these 2 disciplines? It opens August 12th, so we'd love for people to submit either a paper or a short demo.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Cool.
Really
Thanks
appreciate
for
the
your time,
time.
man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.